we're live.
Oh,
I'm alive.
barely. But this will help.
Sure. Is that what keeps you alive?
I don't know. I think I'll still be moving 3 days after I'm dead.
I feel like you can manage it.
I have.
Um,
I got a big shed. So,
so we're intact.
you know, we're in a house right under mine.
But
Who cares? All right, quick update. I was supposed to go to Honduras on the 14th. I was going to do some podcasts from there. Looks like we might cancel that. I don't think that'll affect you guys' life anyway. No.
then I mean,
There you go. We didn't have any like I've been praying for and hoping for big some donations so we can finish that children's classroom and containers lane. So between those two things, it's not
not looking ideal.
well, if I don't have the money to finish the classroom, there's no sense. So we still got some hope. I still got oh, excuse me. I forget what date today is. So yeah, we still got 11 days to cancel the trip, put it off. And so
Or you can donate. Who
so
wants to do
we had about $200 come in. So you never know. You know, you never know. I had some emergency money, but Anna had to pay more for last week. So we're going to spend that on there. We just got to get where we're stop spending more money for the project. So that's what we're doing.
All we need is 22 and a half people or something like that. But
Yeah, there you go. You never know. I mean, crazy things have happened, and so maybe we are Ashley and Eli, and we own Legacy Farms Coffee, and we are the president, and I think he's the secretary or something like that, treasurer of Legacy Farms Missions.
sounds like fun.
And so we're happy to do those things. The goal obviously is to get the farms where it supports our family and it can support the biggest part of the mission. Once we get the buildings built, hiring labor to run everything, that'll be easy peasy. That's the next thing. But this week we've been talking about coffee, how it gets its flavor, and sort of from bean to cup. This will be the fourth out of the 5 series. So I said at first it would be 5. I think it's probably going to be like 6. We do want to sometime mid second or third week in September. We really like to have a bunch of home roasters come on, and I think they can have 6 people on at the same time. And let's talk about our methods. We did that about 2 years ago. Let's talk about how we do coffee, where we get coffee from. Obviously, everybody in the world does not my coffee. So
Unfortunately.
there you go. So we want to do a podcast of that, and we also want to do a podcast of any of your ideas. I think last year we did one where we put coffee online.
Yeah. So maybe we should do that again because I mean that does affect a lot of its flavor.
Yeah, and so
And then also dumping a bunch of different creamers in there helps too.
yeah, yeah. I've never really found creamers that I like, but when I go to high-end coffee shops, they have creamers and stuff like that. So I more enjoy just every once in a while when we especially when we go out to eat in Honduras. Eli will get fries and fries, and I get mocha something, frappuccino, something like that.
Something that's like 20% coffee and the rest is sugar.
Yeah, that's the way I want it. But yeah, when I go to my favorite little gas station restaurant, when I go to fill up the big truck, I think it was like 60 gallons. So I'll right before I pull in, I'll jump out and I'll run into the coffee shop, which is right there on the property where the gas station is. And I'll say cappuccino, and then I'll run out and start. Everything there is full service, and so I'll get out and I'll open up the tanks. Everything has to be locked. Then I'll open up the tanks, and while they're filling the tank up, she'll run out with my little cappuccino in a big old cup. She has a tiny little brown bag. You don't have to stir stick and 4 sugars. If
That
you're gonna
really
drink,
like
if you're gonna drink a cappuccino, 4
sugar.
sugars is and so I have fun. I sit in the truck and I see how much sugar I can get on top of the little heart that she makes before it collapses, and then I stir it up, and it's usually so hot I So I'll go ahead and get that sugar in there. So it'll start. But I love a good cappuccino, but black coffee is the only way to go. But last week we were talking about, I think we got to started on varieties, and so I wanted to follow through with the varieties. I said I was going to get my chart out. This is these are the coffees that we grew this year, and so this will be what comes in. Hopefully in the next 2 to 3 weeks, but you never know. We're really hoping so. Yeah, because we've got a couple of fundraisers coming up. And so if I were to go to Honduras, I come back on the 24th. We got
The
a,
night,
yeah, we got a school that turns their fundraising tickets in on the 24th. That's supposed to start roasting coffee on the 25th. So I'm actually going to have to buy some coffee this year so that we have coffee to flavor.
because when is the actually?
July the 30th. Yeah.
What happened?
Well, you and I left on what, July the 20th?
Yeah.
So it was supposed to ship July 30th. They picked it up the day after we left the farm. So the day we got here, they picked up the coffee. So,
But it was supposed to be here. Here.
uh-huh. About 2 weeks ago.
Well, that's just crazy.
It's as late as it's never been this late. But, so I think right now we have 15 bags of coffee in the container. So that's something I want to.
Let's see if we can run out of coffee before the container comes.
Oh, well, yeah.
I wouldn't know.
But no, I sent off today for some prices on a couple of bags of coffee for the flavor, because I'm just not going to flavor. Last week I had to flavor some very name. That's like an 86.5 coffee. Got one on the budget. But, okay, I was going to go over, we had Bourbon, a tiny bit of Catuai, tiny bit of Geisha, and then we have Ika 2, Lempira, Perinema, Marciesa, Marialipe, and we have the Robusta Julia. So those are the different varieties. Oh yeah, John Hanson. So those are the different varieties, and we have Perinema on 2 different farms, which always. So we were talking about how the coffee gets its flavor and things like that. So from the different varieties, obviously there's different flavors. So you've got Bourbons. In my experience, the Bourbon that we have is a yellow Bourbon. It's just last year they were mostly chocolatey. The year before that, lemonade was one of the flavors. Yeah, 2 years ago it was lemonade and it was 89.25, and then last year 85 was the size of the cup, and it was chocolate caramel. But it's just across the board. It's just changing the flavor. And normally I wash that coffee. Let me have. So the 3 crops ago, it had lemonade was one of the flavors,
And this drop.
and it was just crazy, crazy good. And this year, citrus, but specifically orange, and then floral are the aromas, and it has a finish of honey. So it's got a thicker, heavier mouthfeel and a little bit of honey. So that's a really unusual flavor profile. So that just shows it's the same coffee, same farm, same process. I always wash the Bourbon. So all 3 of the lots of Bourbon we have this year are washed. It always does better washed. So just across the board, that coffee just goes all over the place. Now, like yellow Catuai, it generally has the citrus notes. And we've had it 5 years, and every year has some kind of citrus. Ika 2 and Lempira,
Pretty close.
yeah, they're sort of like cousins. They
But-
have different maturity seasons.
But okay, well, are they pretty close on every different process, or is it more
No,
one process?
it's all the different processes are very similar in the cupping and stuff like that, and they're very similar in the cupping scores. They're always in that 84, 85, 86 range, except for the naturals. The Pure natural, well, the Eco2 naturals never gotten more than 86.5. The Lempira has hit 88 numerous times in the natural.
Really good.
And it is one of my least favorite coffees. And I don't really like the natural.
Wait, so some professional cupper gave it an 88 and you don't like it?
Yeah, 88, 88.5. But just because it cups high doesn't mean you're gonna like those flavors.
Sure.
So I don't, and my wife Julia does. The Perry Nama is, we skipped over Mario Hipe. This year, one of the Mario
Crazy
Hipes,
flavor.
I processed some natural, and it's a full natural. And
So we
if
got-
anybody doesn't know what that is,
They know
for
our,
whatever reason, pulling up, that one, it's not on the place for but anyway, the Mario Hipe has done well. We got fourth place with it one year at the Marcala Coffee Fest. But this year it's an 87. It's a Mario Hipe natural, and you can read it.
so the flavor is honey as well as juicy red ripe fruit.
And some of that is very descriptive.
Wait a second. No, it's not juicy red ripe fruit. It's juicy and red ripe fruit.
Yeah, so probably juicy would be more your mouthfeel,
Crazy.
and then red ripe fruit. And so, yeah, these flavors are crazy. And last year it was not that. Something different. I wish I had that.
I think, like, does either of you think affected?
Weather, generally we do roughly the same fertilizing every year. The last 2 years since the war in Ukraine, I've changed my fertilizing drastically. And so
So they might, I don't think we've ever had red ripe fruit before.
I know that, and we had done some of the other ones.
But there are definitely some crazier ones that are affected by that.
It's like God rolls it out like that. This year we're gonna grow this over here and this over here. It doesn't seem to be a rhyme and reason. I'm sure if I had a group of scientists out there, we'd figure something out. But I think, yeah, we had a little bit of issue this year. Probably about 25 pounds or something like that. And I think I made a note of there what we're gonna give it away.
So who wants to get ya?
I'm gonna give it to you guys.
From Salvador.
Mario! Mario!
Uh,
We went to Mario's house when he was just a little bitty baby. And so, but yeah, definitely, I need to come back to El Salvador. Eli and I are travelers, man. The next time we're in Salvador, we're gonna come visit Jeff. Or next time that he and I are in Honduras together, we're gonna drive up there. Last time, if you remember, they wouldn't let us drive our truck across the border. And so you sent a buddy down. You had a buddy that drove all the way down to the border and picked us up on an awful rainy night and drove us all the way back. My wife prayed the whole time. That guy drove like a maniac in the rain. And she was holding the baby, which is guy as big as I am, all the way there and just prayed and prayed and prayed. But we had a great time at your house, got to go to your church, listen to you preach. So just had a really great time in front. So I can't wait to go back there again. That'll be a fun trip. Yeah, and that's what one of you guys, you took us to some volcanoes and we were in this.
oh, it's called.
Yeah, Jonathan got burned by these little thermals that were coming up. So we had a great time, and even though he got severely burned, he was
Still happy.
we still had a great time. Yeah, we had a great time there. I didn't get to eat iguana. I wanted iguana soup. That was one thing I did get to do. But for
You want a
sure,
spider monkey and eat a bonus soup.
yes, I want a spider monkey. I don't want to eat the spider monkey. I want
But you want to eat one.
Yeah,
What do you like?
and
What do you like?
I do. I like it. I want to maybe I'll play with them first and then enjoy some soup.
But like, how are we gonna give it a show? We just do like a drawing.
Yeah, we're gonna do some kind of drawing and or we'll just say the first 10 orders we're gonna throw in have our investigation. And so because this year we're gonna lose a couple of our bigger buyers and we're gonna focus more on but for interrupting myself, the Perry Nama has been one of the most unique coffees that we've ever had. And so that's one of the reasons that I've been trying to get to Salvador, El Salvador, because I want to buy orange Ramon seeds. I want to get pink Ramon seeds to put on my farm, and I want to get some more Robusta. I got variety Julia Robusta when we were the last time we were in Salvador, which it wasn't the time we went to Mario's house. It's when we snuck across the border. We went across the illegal border there near Marco.
Are you sure we should be doctor?
Yeah, no, I'm legal now, but
That's okay.
there's a border that you don't have to have a passport to cross. And so we went to buy a machine and we brought some plants. But the Perry Nama has just across the board the most unique flavors. Because same farm, same little area, same altitude. This year we've got a Perry Nama that has honey, flowers is the aroma, baked bread, and apples. Those are some of the flavor notes. That's what washed Perry Nama. The very second picking of the same year, same lot, same coffee is honey with caramel and baked bread. And the third one is honey and cinnamon. All of them are Perry Nama from the same lot, picked at different times. All of them are processed washed, and they have three completely different notes. The only thing that's a little more common is the first one is an 88-point coffee. The other two are 86-point coffee. So awesome scores across the board. And the biggest lot we have is the Perry Nama wash, but somehow we forgot to send a score. It scored, so we'll have to score that. But that has been just a very unique flavor. Last year is the one that had the grapefruit, so it's our lot P3M. Grapefruit is one of the notes. Hey guys, hey Jason. Oh, okay. Yeah, Eli's trying to figure out how we'll get away some green. But and we'll do green. But it's just important if somebody buys roasted, and we'll roast it a little bit, some roasted geisha. And then green people will get green geisha. And we'll give away some Mario Heat Bank. We didn't have a real big crop of that this year. So we'll do that as well. Oh, good. Good. Jason got his order today. Did you order roasted or green coffee, Jason? The next coffee we have is the Marciesa. And it's a coffee that I looked for a couple of years. It's a variety that was created in Nicaragua. There's a lot M2, which means it's the second picking, and then there's an M5. The washed coffee ended up with floral notes, honey, and citrus, where the other one is cocoa aroma with cocoa and honey.
And that is a natural.
Yeah, that's the natural process. The cocoa with the cocoa and honey.
So it really does show like how exact same coffee picked at just different times.
2 weeks difference.
2 weeks difference, but processed in two different ways changes the taste completely. Yeah. Florals at cocoa, that's it.
And it's sort of all in the same family because I've got three lots here. I've got a washed, a honey, and a natural. So washed is floral, honey, and citrus, and then the honey, I'm trying to Spanish English, is cocoa aroma with cocoa, honey, and citrus as the notes, and then the natural is cocoa aroma with cocoa and honey as the predominant.
So they all kept the honey.
Yeah, they all kept they all three had honey in them, and citrus and citrus and cocoa and cocoa. So yeah,
So if you want to get like the best of all worlds, just go for the honey.
Yeah, and then once we have it online, we'll group some of the coffees together. And that one was fairly consistent this year, where last year there was a lot of baked bread in there. There was a lot of different flavors on the Marciesa. Yeah. The Washburn Pira is a very consistent coffee. So I use that in a lot of my blends. It's so consistent. So when I'm looking, I've got like 9 lots here. And so the general character, same thing that repeats in these 9 lots is dry dark chocolate, chocolate, milk chocolate, milk chocolate, chocolate, milk chocolate, milk chocolate.
Hot chocolate.
Yeah, and so chocolate is a predominant in that. Sometimes it'll have a caramel notes with a nutty finish. This one's got toasted seed as a finish. This one has citrus as a finish. This one has milk chocolate, citrus, milk chocolate, citrus. Chocolate with dry seeds. Never heard of that one before. It's
Dry
dry
seeds.
almond seeds. Again, no idea really what that is.
Yeah.
And so,
Really good, get better at.
and I can't, it's not where I can cut all of this. That one we don't talk. That one's gonna get played. The note on it is astringent, and so it's not considered a negative because the coffee cup at 82, specialty grade, but on the lower side of what we normally grow. It's milk chocolate and astringent. So there's a couple different definitions for astringent when I'm converting it from Spanish to English. None of them are like really complimentary, but the coffee still got an 82. So, I'm looking here at 58 different lots. I've got 54 lots, and then there's a lot of lots that aren't even numbered. So there's probably 70 lots, and I wasn't able to pick up every single one of them. So it's difficult for me to comment exactly on all these. Once the coffee starts getting here, I'll have a week or two of shipping like crazy, and then everything will sort of calm down to where I start getting to sit down and cut a lot of these. We try to, a lot of them we can't cut because it's a full bag, and so you can't drag a full bag out and open up a 151-pound bag of coffee just to cut it. And so it's not smart to do that, and then I couldn't sell it as a full bag if I did that. The bag wouldn't have stitching on it. So we cut a lot of these bags as we work our way through the lot. So a lot of these coffees, like on your list, is probably going to say, if you pull back a couple of pages, you might see Bob's name on some of them over in the corners. Yeah, we've already marked them. It goes to flavoring, some of it goes to Bob.
Blended.
Yeah, some of them are going to be blended. And so a lot of these coffees, it's a mute point because we won't even get the tasting. So Bob has already got at least 16 bags pre-sold, but last year he bought 30 bags. So before it was over with and he started seeing the flavor notes, he picked out some coffee and he'll buy the full lot. So we'll never get any of them. If I want some, I could go ask this guy for it. But most of the time, it's too much going on.
Was the time it's gone before you can get there?
Yeah.
So good.
And so, but they tend to rotate their stuff, and they open bags and leave them open all year. So they'll go ahead and open a lot more coffee than we will. Where if you can see right here where we're at, I've probably got more coffee open now than I ever have. And I think there's about 12 bags. And of course, this is our roastery, and that's a big roaster over there. But these are all bags that I open, and there's more on the other side of the room. And so we keep wash, honey, Craig name of Marcia, so we keep a bag of every process and every variety that goes for us. And on this list, it's like Bob, he's already bought that whole lot. But there's some that say LFC, and that's like strong coffee. And those coffees are going to come straight in. One bag of each of those lots will come straight in here, and that's what we start selling off of. And then some of you guys buy, a pound. And so we'll go ahead and put your name on them. If it's a lot that only has 5 bags in it, then you can go ahead and have all 5 of those bags. There'll be a coffee that's unique to you. some of the lots are so small, like the Marquee, the Geisha, the Anna Cafe, those are newly planted, so they're gonna be small for at least 1 year.
Won't be like in a way.
Yeah, and so we just give those away. The Mario Hipe, generally that's been my private garden, and so I keep all of that coffee for myself. But since we've won the competition, a lot more people have been talking about it, and so
So it's gonna
we've
come
had
to market or something?
yeah, we're gonna plant more of it. I think there's 1,000 of them in the nursery right now, 1,000 of those plants. So in 3 years, we'll have quite a bit more of Mario Hipe set. But right now, I have 70 plants in my private garden, and from those 70 plants, I think this year I got 55 pounds of coffee. Our farm doesn't produce as much. We're very strict when we select the coffee, and so for that reason, we pull a lot more coffee than some farms do.
But that doesn't mean that you're not gonna find any bad stuff.
Right, you won't find as much bad. Where you will find a lot more defects are in the pea berries and in the naturals, because they're really hard to tell where the defects. The pea berries are little round, dense beans, and so some of them are small and bad, and some of them are big and bad, but they're the color the same. The natural is so discolored because it's so full of juice. A lot of times when it's a lighter color, it could be bad or it could just not have as much juice, so they won't pull the creams out. So when you roast it, there's going to be a lot more Quakers than those two coffee, just because my ladies can't tell the difference. Now the hand selecting, I jumped ahead. So we have our different varieties, we have our different processes, and we've already discussed processes, which on our farm is canal wash, red honey, and full of vinegar. So once the coffee's been processed, it's already been dried, it's in the bodega. We let the coffee rest from 30 to 90 days. Now some of the guys are going to buy the coffee and use it pretty quick, and they'll like rotate farms. And so what they'll do is they're just going to buy Legacy Farms coffee, and they're going to roast it all and sell it, and then they're going to buy somebody else's coffee, roast it all, and sell it. So they won't carry Legacy Farms coffee through their entire year. So those guys, I'm not worried about aging the coffee for 90 days, because they're not going to have our coffee in their bodega for 2 years. But aging coffee extends the shelf life of green coffee. But if we age the coffee for up to 90 days in parchment, in perfect conditions, air circulating, dehumidifiers going, so we keep the temperature as level as we can, humidity as level as we can. We rotate the bags, we turn the bags, so that the coffee is dry and stored evenly. That extends the shelf life of the coffee. I don't have that study, but I'm going to look it up. But Cafe Imports gave me the study, and I read it, and so that's why we started doing that process. I am in no way recommending Cafe Imports, just they did give me that little
So you give them a little, you get a report from them, that's all they're gonna plan.
they didn't help us with anything else, but they did help us about that before. So aging the coffee extends the shelf life. That's why our coffee is later getting to the States from other coffee. Next year, it's going to be coming to the States sometime in May, because we know what our selling is. We're losing a couple of customers that tend to carry our coffee for like 18 months. And so we have to give up a few customers we're having trouble with, and a few customers that last year one of the customers shut down. So we're having to make some adjustments there. But in order to stay in business, we're having to sell more roasted coffee, so which means we have to give up some of our green coffee people. Hey, Jared. Oh, you can hardly hear me. Uh-oh. Well, I'll turn it up a little bit, and I'm going to scoot in. Let's scoot in a little bit. I turned the volume up as high as it would go, so we'll see if that makes any make sure to grab my headset. Make sure that my headset's not turning on.
Every time.
I was watching a movie earlier today, so maybe my headset.
Yeah, it is.
It is? Okay, sorry about that. The headset's across the room. Did it cut off?
Yeah, I can turn it off.
You held it till the red came on? Okay. Does, is that any better, Jared?
That's embarrassing. Can't believe we didn't check that for.
Yeah, Jared.
Okay,
Much
good.
better. Yeah, that makes a big difference. Yeah, I was watching a movie. I was watching a show called The Pretender, but anyhow, I really like it because my wife got rid of Paramount Plus or whatever because we're bored, and so I lost Star Trek. So I really
That's how
miss
you got Star Trek?
Yeah. So $7.99 a month. And we do take donations. If anybody feels sorry for me, wants to give me their Paramount Plus password, then I'll take it. No, what I miss is Star Wars. I like watching Star
I
Wars.
think so. Yeah, we don't have that
I
either.
like just playing it on the speakers while I'm working. Because I've seen the movie like 50 times, and so I know what's going on, but I like to listen to it. Otherwise, I feel like I'm in jail here. Because like right now, I've been here for 14 hours so far today. So
It is, does seem kind of like a jail then.
uh, so as far as the Beams life and all that good stuff, the next part of the next step of quality is the hand selecting. And the ladies are really, really good at hand selecting. Our ladies are so good that we actually hired, and it's got nothing to do with me. Uh, it's all on Anna. Anna taught them. We hired a lady, and that's sort of what she does, is she goes and trains people to select. And so we hired her to come out to the farm for a couple of days and teach our women just really how to select. And at the end of the first day, she said, I don't need to come back. She said she was going to stay there 2 or 3 days. She said, your ladies know what they're doing and they're doing a very good job and they're going as fast as our ladies do. And there's no room for that I can see how I can improve them. So our ladies really rock it when it comes uh, to selecting the coffee. So you know, there's no way the girls have a bad day sometimes and Quakers slip through or defects slip through, but
There's no way to be perfect unless you had like
right.
a
And
million
then
dollar machine, then you can probably be perfect.
yeah, the smallest machine, and that's what we're looking at right now. Because our ladies are good. The other mills last year they stole our women twice, not all of them. I think they took 3 one time and 5 the next time, and so that threw us way behind on our selecting this year. Because then you have to find new ladies and train them, and it slows down an experienced woman having to train a new person to select, and it takes a while for that new girl to get up to speed. So that really hurt us this year on our selecting. There was days that we had 10 girls and they were only selecting like 600 and 700 pounds of coffee a day.
And usually they do what?
1,400 is a pretty good day. And so that's what we like to,
That's almost double.
Yeah. And then of course it goes down to 8 pounds, 6 to 8 pounds a person per day when they start selecting the triplets and the pea berries because they're going through the trash coffee because there's a vibrating table that the coffee goes through. And so the triplets and the pea berries go through with the trash. So they're having to go through the trash to pick out the pea berries. And if you look online, our pea berries are about the same price, although it takes 10 times, literally 10 times more time to select them out. So it's not a profit thing. I just hate to throw away pea berries, and
They are good.
that's what I'm drinking right now. And they always cup really high and cup really well, but I hate to throw away. And then this last year we had 500 something pounds of pea berries. So if we hadn't went through the trash and selected all that out, that coffee would have just been thrown away. And not thrown away. We roast it, but then we sell it for $1.25 a pound in Honduras. So it's not very cost effective to throw it away, and it's not, or to roast it and sell it in the street. And it's not cost effective to select it and bring it to the States. So, but I just hate to waste it. So no matter what it costs, we go through and select it. But normally
when Selena and Marina were selecting, they were almost always over 100 pounds a day. But the washed coffee, they select more pounds per day. Then it steps down to the honey process, and it's always less. And then the natural is one of the worst. So if they're doing 120 pounds to 110 to 120 pounds of washed a day, when we switch them over to honey, it's going to be 80 to 90, and it's going to be 60 to 65 a day on the natural. And then triplets and pea berries will drop down to anywhere from 6 to 8 pounds a day. So it's a process, and altogether it takes them about 45 to 50 days to select, our 30-something thousand pounds of coffee that we had.
Which, I mean, that's pretty exceptional.
I bet it's more like 60 days. I'll have to look at Anna's numbers.
Still, I mean, 60 days for 30,000 pounds of coffee, that's
that's
still pretty amazing.
But we're really hoping that we can get the sales to where they need to be, and we're going to redo the wet mill next year and the dry mill. And I would really like it to be able to buy a laser sorter, and that would speed things up quite a bit, and it would cut down on the theft of our workers quite a bit. So those are a couple of things that we're really looking towards 2025 being a year that we do quite a bit of upgrades on the farm.
Which will make it a lot better.
Yeah, it'll make things a lot better.
Plus, you'll get to not work so long, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, now you don't have to do the despulping anymore.
Yeah, hopefully that we're training a new guy to run the depulper.
I meant me.
Oh yeah, and of course Eli runs the depulper too. He was there this year when the family was gone. So
had to do it.
Yeah, so he sort of learned by trial by fire. I said go, and then I got in the truck and left, and he was depulping when I came back. So starting the machine, I don't know, have you tried starting the machine by yourself?
I think I tried starting it with you. You pushed the thingy and I turned it, but I don't think
it has a decompression lever on a 2-cylinder diesel engine, and it's hand cranked. So you have to hold the decompression lever. Well, you get the motors turning. You turn the decompression on full. Once you get the motor turning, then you slowly put the pressure on the cylinders, and she starts running.
I mean, it's hard for me to do it, and you can do it by yourself. You don't need two people. I mean, we did have that on YouTube. I think it's Daddy on Diesel.
Yeah, you can look on our YouTube channel and look up Daddy on Diesel on YouTube, and you'll watch me crank it, because the workers didn't think I could do it. I always got the Hideo to do it, or Santos to do it.
So and you had to show them.
Yeah, and so I started cranking it one day, and it's like, well, I'll go get Hideo, and I'm like, I can crank it, and he's like, really? And he sort of smiled.
And I'm like,
yeah, really? Yeah. So I thought I'll give myself a heart attack before I don't crank it. So I cranked it up, and he was pretty impressed that the old guy could crank it. And so then I decided to video myself cranking it one day. And we had over 20,000 views on that video. Biggest one ever. Daddy on Diesel. And so since then, I've been working out, man.
Maybe you should get 20,000 views on this one.
I'd love it if we could. We just need you guys to share it.
Definitely do.
And we need to get some of you guys to come out to the farm. I had somebody come in today, and they're wanting to book a trip for first week of March. And so we're running out of spaces. So if anybody can get off some time in February, I've got a week open in February if anybody wants to come out to the farm. I'm only going to do one visitor per month. And so I've got somebody that's wanting to come out in January, and I've got somebody I think wanting to come out in March. So February is the only time, because it's not, I get up at 4:30 in the morning every day from the first week in January through the last week in March. And doubtful we go to sleep before 10. There's been a lot of nights, 10 o'clock. All Eli does is boil water and make Lipton cup of soup.
That is fun. They do really like them. And I like them too.
Wi-Fi around the working area we have, but what we do is we've got like a S10 Galaxy, and you can load all your apps and stuff on that, and we'll get you. It has internet for like $1.50 a day.
It was really good.
And so, yeah,
Phone
it'll,
prices and
you
stuff
can
down
stream from almost anywhere on the farm. And if you're on the high side of the farm, there's internet there. And Eli had the idea that we're gonna rent some little camping areas. And so we're gonna start running electricity down to these two campsites. And we're gonna list those on Airbnb as well as the two apartments we have. Will be
there. And then
listed
maybe
on-
get some like gas burners or something down there if you want
Yeah.
like a little camping stove.
Yeah, we're gonna have some way that you guys can, that people can come and camp and either have just a charcoal, grill that we can put up, but there'll be an electric plug-in and then there'll be water on the campsite. So you can bring a two-man tent or you can rent one of our tents. And so, yeah, we had quite a few people that have seen the farm as they drive by or seen it online. So this year within the next 2 months, we're gonna be on Airbnb. So both of our apartments will be for rent there. And then we'll have a campsite where there's a nice parking spot fairly close and you walk about 150 feet down the hill. It'll be fairly secluded and you'll have, be able to plug your phone in and have a light. And then you'll be able to have a campfire and there'll be drinkable water there.
Yeah, I do have to say though, our tents, we only have two, which is a 2-man and a 3-man tent, so we can't hold 10 people.
Yeah.
So just say, if you want
But yeah, once we've got a lot of projects on the farm. And so definitely we could use a IT guy down there that knows how to do some stuff with Wi-Fi. And I've got a couple of extenders I'd like to run out so that we have more Wi-Fi in different areas. I want to run Wi-Fi about 600 feet out into the farm and put it on a big old tall pole so that we could really have some Wi-Fi. We're talking about building a bunkhouse that'll house 18 people. So we want to finish out, and most of that is done. We're still probably about, I think, 5,000 away from having the bunkhouse because it's going to have a couple of little mini fridges in it and some one burner gas stoves. There's 2 more bathrooms that have to be built for the bunkhouse, and then we're doing some converting on if we've got that many people, we're going to convert the selecting room, which we call the cupping lab. We're going to make that into the little cafeteria. And so the tables that they're selecting on and the tables that I'm cupping on will hold 22 people. And the room's big enough that we can easily get 22 people in there. And there's a bathroom in there. And so we're also going to add a shower in there. But we need to buy a gas stove, a refrigerator. And so when the mission teams come, we're going to be able to house more of those. So we've got 2 apartments, we've got the bunkhouse.
And if you want to camp.
And we've got the children's library. And then if there's people want to camp out, there's campsites.
And if you just have a hammock, we can put you in the coffee shop.
Yeah, we can put you in the coffee shop. We can put you in the children's library.
Or if you want to pay probably a little extra, we can set you up in a hotel nearby.
Yeah, and there's a hotel. But everything that we have is just as good as the hotel.
Yeah.
And the hotel you'd have to drive to. But on the
But you
campsite.
do get a Honduran breakfast at the hotel.
You do, but then we also, once we finish the cupping lab that has our cafeteria in it, then we're going to rotate Daisy, Miguel's wife, I forget what her name is, and Anna, and Isabel, to come in and cook. But if you're really lucky, you'll get Eli cooking for you. So we're trying to work out the numbers because obviously we're not $1 million farm. And so we're going to have to, in the package of a group, we're going to have to include, mine and Eli's flight out there if it's a big group. Eli was invaluable on this last trip. Because I mean, he's cooking for me. You were washing clothes for the group, and we were both washing clothes for the group, making coffee for the group, but translating.
I made a lot of coffee this trip.
Yeah, and so. And the next group that comes, we're going to have the big commercial coffee maker there. We're going to have the espresso machine there. We're going to have a second sample coffee roaster. We use the Hucky 500s. So we've got another coffee roaster we're shipping down to Honduras. So that's one thing that the group is sort of disappointed in is when they got there was no roasted coffee. They wanted to buy my coffee. And so I could have, but it was, 12 ounces at a time. So about every 13 minutes, 11, 12, 13 minutes, I can crank out 12 ounces of coffee for a group of 25 people that ended up buying about 40 pounds of coffee. It would have taken me a lot of my time to
Yeah.
roast coffee for them. And so we were bringing auto parts and a drill and an air compressor, and I don't know what all we had in our luggage. But if we'd have thrown in 40 pounds of coffee, it would have cost us $100 just for the extra bag fee to get it down there. And we just didn't do it. In this trip, I actually held back 100 pounds of coffee so that the next group that comes, I'll go rent a roaster from another farmer that I know, and I'll go roast coffee and we'll bag it there.
Or if they want to try something, we can give them green and you can pop it in your popcorn popper.
There you go. But yeah, I do have a popcorn popper out there that does well. I've got a Fresh Roast 700 and I've got a Hucky 500. And so, yeah, all I've got to do is I've got to work with this guy a little more to get him to where he can roast on that Fresh Roast. He's never tried that one.
Okay.
And so, yeah, it's that air one.
Yeah, that's the one I actually get it on.
Oh, okay. I have horrible luck with it, but maybe Eli will have better luck.
Hopefully.
But having Eli there when people needed something, if I could, because this group spoke very little Spanish.
Yeah.
And so, Eli can help them order drinks, food. You've got 25 people there at a giant table and everybody wants to order at the same time. So, most of the restaurants we went to did not have anybody that spoke English. Taco La Luna,
That guy, yeah.
Roberto, Taco La Luna, they have some bilingual people. But other than that, I don't know any of the other restaurants we went to that had anybody that spoke English.
I
So
don't
it
think
was
so.
Eli and I were, trying
The
to help
lady at
everybody order.
the Planet One may have spoke a little bit.
Yeah, maybe
did.
she did. Yeah, I'm not sure about
So
her.
maybe she would have understand a little something.
Yeah.
That kind of
So, oh,
It's
excuse me. You heading out?
yeah, I think
Okay. All right.
All right.
Eli's going to go make sure we have supper tonight.
I'll bring you out some. I think it should be ready.
Okay. No, wait. I'm gonna be in about 10 to 15 minutes. And yeah, thanks, buddy. But yeah, we're trying to work out to where when we have groups coming, that we'll have the second apartment finished. We're a couple thousand from having that and the beds and all that it needs. And then we'll have the bunkhouse finished by spring of next year. We got a group hopefully coming up that's going to help us with that. And so if you're bringing a big group, we'll be able to house up to, I think the goal, well, you did the numbers, it's according to what the configuration of the people are, but how many single girls, single guys, marrieds, things like that. We've got a lot of different types of beds. We got double bunk beds, triple bunk beds. And so, but the maximum would be 40 people. And then that's what we want to set up our kitchen for, is to where the ladies could cook for that many people. So, that's the goal. And to have, my dream would be to have 6 groups come a year and do building projects, VBSs, food distribution, home repairs. I've got a group that I'm talking to that I'm hoping next year when they come, they'll be able to build 2 houses while they're here or while they're there. So, that's a goal I've got. So, but yeah, anybody that wants to come up, we're going to make it work. I'm generally there May, July, and then again September and November. So I'm hoping those trips still work out for September and November this year. And then January the 4th, I'm there until the end of March. And so I think this year Eli will be with me that entire time. Julia's going to be there with me for 7 weeks this year. Last year she was only able to stay for 5, but she's going to stay longer. We got a guy here that knows how to roast now. And if there's anybody watching that's close to that Wichita area, that's definitely something we're looking towards. Well, this next spring, when we get back from Honduras, the first project we do is we're extending this building 20 feet. The roof is so old on the existing building that we're taking the entire roof off the roastery, because this roastery is an old garage that I converted, and it was 70 years old when I started. So the goal is going to be, when we get the entire roof off of this, we're just going to tear it down to where there's 4 walls. We're going to build a solid concrete band and then go 2 more blocks high. And then the trusses that we're building are going to be really tall and straight. I forget what the pitch is, so that we can have a small micro living quarters in the top of it. And so that, we can have visitors come here. We've had quite a few people that wanted to come and learn to roast, which I'm definitely not the best teacher in roasting, but I am fairly good at artisan roasting. So the the idea would be to have somebody come, and if somebody wanted to come, like Jared wants to come up and spend a couple days while I'm in Honduras and do some roasting for me, then he'd have a little place to stay. So I think with the once I've built the extension, the building will be 22 feet wide and 46 feet long. So we'll be able to have a decent little living quarters up there. Won't be super tall or anything like that, but it'll be the stairway will be in the center, so you'll have a bathroom on one side, and then the other side will just look out into the farm, and that'll be your bedroom and living area, and it'll have a front porch on it, on the second floor, so you'll be able to sit out there in the afternoons and drink your coffee. So that's my goal. That's what I'm really hoping for. So we'll see how all that works out. But we're definitely running out of room in the roastery, and the less green we sell, and the more we start roasting. But the one thing we're not going to give up are our home roaster guys, to the point where next year we're actually buying more coffee from other farmers, so that the little guys, and I don't want to offend anybody by saying little guys, I started out on a B-more and a fresh roast and popcorn popper. But you guys that are starting to home roast, and there will be hopefully one day, you guys, if you want to, you'll move into the farmers markets, and then have a 20K roaster one day. And so that's what we want to do. We want to grow with our customer. I've got a meeting with a guy tomorrow, and he was one of the first guys that I sold coffee from. The very first year I sold coffee, I delivered every bag of coffee personally. So I drove from Kentucky one night all the way to Wisconsin to deliver one bag of coffee. And then from Wisconsin, I left and went to Sanders Brothers Coffee in Tennessee, and I think I sold him 40 pounds of coffee. And so, we've sold big quantities, small quantities, but all three of those customers we still have. And so, that's the way we wanted to grow when we started, and that's what we're hoping that we can continue with as we go forward. So we're looking for September. I've got a meeting with some of the top 10 finishers in the Marcala coffee competition. So I'm going to try to buy some of their coffee next year. Hey, Fred. Thanks. I've not got my reading glasses on tonight, so I'm having to squint a little bit. But the goal is to grow with you guys. I've just ordered some cheap Brazilian coffee. And when I say cheap, it's going to be a 78 to an 80 point coffee, and it's to flavor with. And so if you guys get into flavoring, I'm going to have an option for you guys to buy. It won't be coffee from my farm, but it'll be something that you guys, if you have customers that want flavored coffee. And one big boost on your coffee is, October it starts getting cool, September it's cooling, November, those are our cooler months where the coffee starts picking up, and a lot of people want pumpkin spice. And so tomorrow I'm ordering a gallon of pumpkin latte or something. Two different pumpkin coffee flavorings. I'm ordering more caramel rum crunch, Jamaica Me Crazy, rum popo, salted caramel, toasted southern pecan. Those are flavors that I carry, and we're going to start selling those in 2-ounce bottles. So when you order coffee, if you need some flavoring, we can order those for you. And then we're going to start ordering larger quantities of the bags. So there'll be bags that you guys can literally seal with an iron, like an iron that you iron your clothes with. That's what I do in Honduras. I have a single, it doesn't have a fold. It's just a bag that pops together. It's got a Ziploc that ziplocks it. And then the tear off top, you'll seal that with an iron. So I put I put an old cotton shirt that I have over the top of it, and then I iron back and forth, and that irons the bag, and it gives it a legal seal. And so you guys can, start doing bag sales with the fancier looking bag. We've got a deal with a company here. So if you'll draw out your logo, then they'll do a basic logo and make you a rubber stamp. Uh, I think it's 2.5-inch rubber stamp. They'll make it, ship it to you all for less than $40. And so you can start stamping your own bags, or you can print them. I stamp all my bags, and then I put a sticker with my logo. I put a sticker with my whatever the variety is of the coffee on there. So, those are just things that we will do to help you guys, try to get to where we're at while we're moving to the next stage in our business. So next year, my goal is to be selling 75% of my coffee roasted. And then with that extra 25%, I can keep my 3 main burlap bag customers, and then I can keep my 50 home roasters. So I've got a list of 50 home roasters, and that I want to keep selling to for the next, till I die. And the boys will keep selling after that, hopefully. And so that's the goal, is to, not give up any of because I enjoy selling to the home roasters. It's fun, and it's always, that's how the shop is set up, to service the home roasters. So I've got this whole corner over here that's green. So the cart rolls out with the scales on it, I've got these giant, I think they're cottage cheese containers. And when I scoop it out level, it's about 3 pounds of coffee. And so, I scoop it out, put 3 pounds in a Ziploc, seal it up, ship it out. So it makes it easy to do. I've got all my green bags here. So everything that's on the website is right here in the shop. And so when you order green coffee, it doesn't take that long to get it sealed up. So the green coffee for the smaller quantities, that was hard to getting that streamlined to where I can do an order pretty quick. The roasted coffee, we keep that bagged already. So the roasted coffee is sold in 8, 12, and 1 pound bags. So that's already on the shelf for our walk-in customers. So you guys that are buying roasted coffee, the coffee gets roasted every Monday. I roast it, put it on the shelf, and then through the week, we're pulling those bags off. And so that coffee's rotated out every week. And then, it's getting to where I'm having to roast one other day during the week. So my roaster is way bigger than what I need. So it lets me roast for less time. But yeah, everything has been to get to this point. If you guys will go back on my Instagram account from about 10 days ago, I did a tour of the roastery. And so you can sort of see, how the roastery is set up and things like that. And also, I've just got patches in. They're little oval patches, and we're going to iron them on a hat. And so supposedly they're supposed to take a washing and all that. But I've got a laser, and so I'm going to start burning our logo into that. If you guys get to the point where you want to, you have a logo, and it's something that I can figure out how to put it on my computer. If I can get it on my computer, I can burn that sucker on a hat for you. So you can start doing your own hats, and so far I bought it in a big enough quantity that it's not super expensive, but I've been practicing, burning stuff with the laser. So I did the welcome the other day on the board, and then I laid it on I just took the entire laser and put it on the table where people come in to buy their coffee, and I just burnt welcome right there on the table. So it's been fun. I tried burning a burlap bag, and they just catch on fire. And so I haven't got the right setting, but it'll burn on a lot of different materials. I've tried burning the logo onto the cardboard boxes. So that's the next thing I've got to master. I think I'm gonna have to buy a more expensive program. And then I'm going to try to burn it on tumblers and things like that. There's some different things I have to buy in order to do that. But if you guys have an idea and a suggestion for a podcast, I would absolutely love to have you guys come on as a coffee roaster, as a guy who brews coffee, drinks coffee. I want to have a podcast where you guys are actually on the podcast with me, and we brew some coffee together. And I like doing I forget, I think it's called the Pro Barista or something like that. It's made by Bonavita, In Honduras, they call it the Clever brewer, but I think it's called the Barisita or something like that. But it's shaped like a V60 pour over, but it has a valve on the bottom of it. That's my favorite way. So if I could get somebody that wanted to do a pour over with the Chemex and the V60 and the AeroPress and French press, or whatever you guys want to brew your coffee with, I'd love to get 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 of us on screen all at the same time, and we all take a turn during the podcast of brewing the coffee the way we like to brew it. And you'll have to fake some of it. We may not be able to sit there and steep for 5 minutes if you got a French press or however you do it, but we'll make it work. But I'd like to get different brew methods and do a podcast like that. And I'd like to get the home roasters on, and let's do one with a lot of different methods on it. And then if you've got a Be More, I want you to reach out to your Be More guys. I'd like to do a podcast with just a bunch of Be More guys on there, do one with a bunch of fresh roast guys on there, and see if we can't do some different podcasts. And if you want a copy of that podcast so that you can start promoting your coffee or something like that, if you buy my coffee, you're welcome to use any of my pictures, any of my promotional stuff to help you when you start selling your coffee. Or if you want to do a podcast or a video and you want me to come on while I'm on the farm and, talk to some of the workers or see some of the process, anything we can do to help you guys promote your coffee. If you need me to print labels for you, I've got a couple guys, I print their labels for them. It doesn't take much, and the labels are pretty simple. And I buy my labels 10,000 at a time, so they're pretty cheap. I think they're about a penny and a half a piece or something like that. I'll have to look it up, but they're pretty cheap, and I don't mind. If you want to do some custom labels, my printer does colors, and so I'll knock you out some labels and send them with your order of coffee. Anything we can do. But if you guys would do me the favor of like leaving a positive review on Google, or I don't know where all we're at, but you can go to my website and leave a review for sure. Or if you don't mind, just, you can make comments on the webpage and I'll copy and paste them. But if you'll share this with any of your coffee lover friends, that would be a big help to us. We are Legacy Farms Coffee 2010 on Instagram. We're Legacy Farms Coffee 200 on YouTube, and we're plain old Legacy Farms Coffee on Facebook, and we are legacyfarmscoffee.com. We are going to be pulling green coffee off the website, but I will keep saying on my podcast, anybody that's watching the podcast, any of you guys to help me promote my coffee, I'll make sure you don't run out of coffee. So all you have to do is PM me, and we'll work a way for you to Venmo and order more coffee. But I've had a couple people order some bigger quantities here lately. I need to make sure that I don't run out for my roasted customers. And until I get a confirmation, I don't really know, because I have 15 bags of coffee in my container right now. So I need to make sure I can't run out of roasted coffee, because that's where we make our profit from. So I've still got coffee here. So any of you guys that are ordering 5, 10, 15, 20 pound orders, just keep ordering, but you'll have to PM me to do it. You won't be able to buy it straight off the website, and I'll make you a better price. We'll just do one price for everything. And so we'll make sure you don't run out. And I'm inventorying everything. So I actually think I have some Mario Hipe that I can let go of. And I think there's some Anna Cafe 14. If you'll research those coffees, if that's something you want, I'll put that on my my list of things that you guys can do. All right, Mike. Yeah, as soon as I'm having a little trouble connecting my laser today, but the second I start burning the patches, I'll just send you guys out some patches. If you have a hat, I'll just give you a patch with our logo on it. And if you get ready for Mad Mike's coffee, or something like that, I'll try to burn you. I'll burn your logo on one and ship it to you. But yeah, if you want to earn it on your own hat, I'll just give you the logos. The next coffee order, say something. But as soon as I get the logos burned onto the leather patches, I'll start posting them, and then I'll have to order some blank hats, and then we'll figure out what it's going to cost to buy a hat. But if you got a hat you can earn it on, I'll just give you the logo. Or if you got anything you want to earn it on, I'll send you some logos out for free. But guys, it's supper time here, and then I've got to come out and stamp 200 bags tonight. And I had somebody ordered 5 vacuum pots of coffee for Saturday, so I've got to get my big commercial coffee thing programmed for. I got to program the setting for decaf, and I got to program the setting for the Peaberry. That's what we're going to be using for Saturday. But in your coffee orders, if you've noticed, I've been sending out some flyers for the mission project. So if you've got a church or some group that you think might be able to help us get that children's classroom finished, I desperately need to get that done. We got kids that are coming to church that don't have a classroom right now. So we need to finish the building, the roof on the building. We need to buy chairs, like wooden chairs for the classroom. And we need to finish some of the electrical in the classroom. So we're $4,500 away from having that done. And we really need that money sooner rather than later. So any help you can do, if you got a rich uncle, something like that, let me know. And, the big donation people, we're sending them coffee and stuff like that for a thank you, but it's all tax deductible. It's a 50, I forget what it is, 503C, whatever it is. It's a legitimate nonprofit. So we'll give anybody that sends anything. If you donate $10, we'll send you a donation letter and you can write it off on your tax. And if you want to write a big fat check, then we'll definitely take care of that too. But thanks guys for watching. We've had quite a few people pop on, and so thanks. We'll do it again on Tuesday, and we'll be wrapping it up with a quick recap of everything we've talked about over the last 4 weeks. We'll wrap it up next Tuesday, and then we're going to try our best to start doing a podcast where we talk about brewing the coffee. But next week, we're going to go a little more into the exporting. And the end of the podcast, we're going to talk about how we could buy you guys, if you wanted to buy a bag of coffee next year, that we could do that. And you would have to prepay for the coffee, but we could get you a bag of coffee from your own farmer next year. So if you're getting ready to go to that next level, then that's what we're trying to work for next year. So San Diego is going to have maybe a bag and a half of coffee next year. So somebody could buy Finca San Diego. I think it's going to be Finca Sandy, but it'll be San Diego's farm. And you could buy his entire farm and market it that way. And I've already got marketing pictures set up of his family where we donated them fertilizer last year. We'll donate them fertilizer again next month. It'll be time to fertilize again. So all those things. Somebody just posted they wanted to pick up some beans. I'm not sure what Eli was helping me monitor the sites. But any questions that have popped in that I didn't get to tonight, I couldn't log on to one of the formats. So it might have been Fred that popped up. So we'll make sure everybody gets whatever coffee they need. And my number is 620-386-4833. If you'll give me a call tomorrow or anytime this week, keep it during normal business hours because we do a lot of classes at night. And so I often don't answer the phone after 5. But send me a message or call me or text me or however you want to, and we'll get everything hammered out. But again, thanks, guys. It's been a fun night and a lot of good questions, and I'll keep answering questions after supper. Thanks again.